Well, folks, as it turns out, I've been keeping something from you, but now it's time to reveal everything. Hi, everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. Um, Now, as you saw in the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to reveal something. It's not a dark secret, but it's definitely a deep secret. In fact, it's the deepest secret that I have kept from viewers of this channel. Now, when you look at this channel, the Ministry of Guitar, what is it about? It's about guitars, it's about instruments, it's about industry commentary. And who am I, the person who comes across to you? I am this person who, of course, plays guitar as a hobby. Please notice this in quotes. And also, I am from the corporate world, right? I worked for 15 years. I got to a very senior position, head of marketing for a very big brand. And so I kind of bring that perspective to you. So that's kind of probably what you think I am and what you think I want to do. But the thing is, it is very, what should I say, inaccurate and misleading. Not because I did not do any of these things. I did indeed work in the corporate world. I am indeed fond of electric guitars, right? And I have accumulated like a behemoth of a collection of them. But honestly, very honestly, that is not who I am at all. So the story really begins in university, for as it does for a lot of us with our guitar journeys. I started playing guitar at the age of 18. Uh, Stories been said on this channel. I'm not going to get into it. And the thing is, I was obsessed. I was absolutely obsessed. So much so that all I did after I could just figure out to play a few chords, of course, learn new songs, but I immediately just kept on, started writing songs. I just couldn't help it. Like, I was supposed to go to lectures, I was supposed to go to tutorials. I did go to tutorials because it took attendance. But all I did was basically sit, learn guitar, and write songs. All I did was write that. And what happened is wrote songs in two ways. I wrote songs in, with normal, just acoustic guitar. But I also discovered Guitar Pro. And Guitar Pro really was amazing because I could make these very complex arrangements. I could put in guitar parts and keyboard parts that I did not know how to play. Now I can actually play everything that I wrote almost. But at that time, I was just a beginner, so I wrote all of these elaborate ones. And what happened is, by the end of it, by the end of 3 years of university, 4 years, but 3 years is when I was playing guitar, I probably had a catalog of over 100 to 150 songs, right? But guess what? Did I strike it out to be a musician? I could not, because I come from India. It's a very particular thing that when you come from a developing country, when you come to some place like Singapore or whatever, you've taken loans, you've taken all of these different things, right? There is no choice to take a risky profession like being a musician or being an artist. You will literally become a starving artist or a starving musician. So of course I did all the interviews. I got into first the Singapore government, and then of course I got into Procter and Gamble, and of course made my way up through the ranks. But the song stayed there. And the thing is, about a couple of years into working, I remember this very distinctly. I was looking at I was a little frustrated because I was still writing songs. I hadn't fully transitioned into being like, and I'm still writing songs every day. But that time in university, it was music was all I did, literally 0 to 100. And I was thinking about it that I have this huge catalog of songs, and then now I'm just in the corporate world. I'm just busy working. I'm trying to do whatever needs to be done. Will these songs ever see light of day, right? Will they just be stuck on my laptop in this folder called original songs that that nobody will ever see? And I was thinking about this one day when I was on vacation in KL, Kuala Lumpur, capital of Malaysia, not very far from Singapore, of all places. I was literally one night, I couldn't sleep. And I was thinking about it. And then I had this kind of a thought that, oh my God, it could be that this laptop with all my songs is literally the laptop that I had to take a loan for in university to pay for. I was still paying off that loan actually. Just $200 a month left. I paid around 2,500. That's a lot of money for a laptop, but whatever. So I was thinking, will this laptop ever be, will these songs ever see the light of day? And I had this idea of somebody discovering a laptop full of songs and then using those songs to, like, let's face it, every artist, every musician dreams of being a big rock star, right? Let's not put it into two different ways. So I had this thought that there's somebody who discovers this laptop, and maybe not me, because I don't have the choices, and maybe I'm not brave enough because I have to do a corporate job. Somebody discovers it, and then they become like a big rock star. And that kind of that germ of an idea came into this, suddenly developed into this entire. Oh, by the way, I should backtrack a little bit. Before I started playing music, the thing that I've been doing since I was about, ever since I can remember, is writing. So I actually wrote my first book, blatant Enid Blyton ripoff, but I was 11 years old. That was at 11. Then I wrote another book at 13. There were a few publishers that were very interested in it, but I think post 2001, with everything that happened, and there was a lot of, if you remember, there was an anthrax scare happening at that point in time. So I simply stopped getting, and it was all no email back then, it was physical mail. So I simply stopped getting replies. I got two initial interesting replies who were interested in my book from two American publishers when I was 13, or 14, 2001. They stopped replying. The point is, I'm also a writer. I am a writer. So this book idea came into my head, excuse me. So this book idea came into my head, that you have this guy who wanted to be a musician but had to end up going into the corporate world, do all the stuff. And then many years later, there's this son who discovers his father's laptop, and the son is not encumbered by the same, or maybe he's built differently, or maybe he's more talented. And he takes the song and he becomes the greatest rock star in the world. That idea came to me. And then a few other characters jumped in my head. The archetypical front man or rather front woman. There's an entire thing. I don't want to give it away. But the point is this. I wrote a book. I released a book. I published a book. And that book has been out there. And I haven't talked about it on this channel because, you know what? I didn't want to distract from this channel. I didn't want to, make it something else other than what it is. But I think the time has come because I've spent the last 1.5 years essentially continuing what I was doing in the corporate world. Yes, I'm doing it on YouTube, but essentially being a YouTuber is a lot like marketing. My persona is still that of a person who worked, who's a certain kind of person who worked in the corporate world, who collects guitars, a very, very typical persona. But that is not really who I am. I am really just a writer and a musician. And the first step of really revealing who I really am is revealing this. Here we go. Actually, let me reveal the original cover. So this is the book that came out. This is the original cover. It's called The God of Sex and Gold and Rock and Roll. You may recognize that guitar. That's my Epiphone G1275. My wife was kind enough to pose on it. So you got the front and the back. And then later, they asked me to make a slightly different cover. So here we have it. This is the God of Sex and Gold and Rock and Roll. This is what you can actually buy today. And this book is essentially a story of a guy who becomes. So the other aspect to this is, as today, as in 2008, 2009, I was very frustrated by popular music. And I thought that the world needed another Nirvana moment, right? Because music had become really bad, right? And Nirvana comes and does its whole thing. So I thought that you needed another Nirvana kind of a moment. Because even for me, the rock star that I could imagine, and of course everybody builds from real life, is not the entertainer rock star. It is more of somebody with a lot of angst, right? Like Kurt Cobain, right? Kurt Cobain had a lot of angst. Kurt Cobain was not an entertainer. Nonetheless, he made some of the biggest songs in the world. And then, of course, think more of the Pink Floyd, Syd Barrett kind. So that's kind of what this book is about. It's the coming of age story. Something else that you may find interesting if you like, so it's got, by the way, I released it a few years ago. Before I get into the book, I released it a few years ago. The plan was to promote it, but I didn't because a few things came in the way. There was a terrible family health situation, and then there was the pandemic. And the two also kind of coincided with each other. So it just fell off I published it, and it got a lot of pretty good reviews, as you can see when you probably Google this after this. It got a lot of pretty good reviews, but the plan to market it just fell by the wayside because of all the things that happened, right? And then by the time everything cleared up, I was just like it had been so long because a book is a labor of love. It took me from 2010 to 2016 to write this book. So 6 years, another 2 years before it was published in its final form. And then, of course, everything. So I had just been in the book for so long that I was just a little tired of it. I was a little bit discouraged. I didn't want to really do anything. I wanted to do something else because I'd been thinking about this book for like 10 years. So yeah, I did everything else, but now I think the time has come. So I would really, really encourage all of you, if you like, if you read, obviously get the book. But if you are fond of music, if you are fond of, what should I say, literature, coming of age stories. For me, this is more of something on the lines of a coming of age story. Uh, in the classical style, say in the Charles Dickens style, whatever. Not that it's the language is anything like that. It's not supposed to be. It is very, very contemporary language. But if you're a musician, I think there's one detail that you might appreciate. Here are the chapter titles. I'm going to just show it to you. Then I'm going to read it out. Your mother should know, rock you like a hurricane. I saw her standing there in the flesh, the young ones, happy together, a fool such as I, born to be wild, Bohemian Rhapsody. I think you get the message. So each of the chapters is, of course, named after a song that you and I may know, but it's not just named after it for the sake of it. There's a theme that comes together. It's okay. I'm the writer, so obviously I'm going to think it's a good book. But according to friends and people that I know who do play music, if you play music, or if you have an interest in music, or if you play an instrument, this book is particularly rewarding. So my request to you is, please do help me go on this journey of being a creative, or rather, let me a writer, or I mean, not that the book hasn't sold much; it has sold a little bit, but I haven't marketed it, so it's been steadily selling just a tiny amount. But I would love for this to be something much bigger. So this is what you can buy. This is what you'll get with the, what is it, with the plastic cover and everything. You can buy it on Amazon. I think it's primarily on Amazon right now. Yeah, that's where it is right now, because if you want to buy it online, Amazon is the only place. So this is what you'll get. It's called The God of Sex and Gold and Rock and Roll. Sorry, I should show it to you. It's by me, Utkarsh Mohan. And yeah, so this is step one of what I want to do. Because, for being a writer, all of that is big. And that's kind of what I want to do. I'm also going to start working on not my second book, but my second book as an adult, which has been a very long time. It's really about time I got back into my original passion. If you like this channel and you want to support it, I don't really do too many sponsors. I don't do any sponsor. I did one. And I try to maintain a completely unbiased viewpoint by not having any financial obligations to anyone. But if I do have a request, I do have a request that if you read, please do try out this book. And yeah, let me know what you think. And please leave a review if you like it. Or if you don't like it, just leave a review. Either way, it doesn't hurt. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.